Satya Prakash, Assistant Professor of English in B.V. Raju Institute of Technology, Narsapur. Today's our topic is mastering nouns and pronouns, usage for clear and effective communication in English. So, in the introduction, before we learn the proper usage of nouns and pronouns, we should learn about why we should learn nouns. So the child starts acquiring language with nouns. So when compared to other grammar concepts in English, we do not tend to make many mistakes in nouns. But we need to learn these minimal errors to avoid why we are committing mistakes in English when speaking. Okay. So the reason is every language has its own features. So when we translate from our mother tongue to English, so mother tongue features may not be suitable or may not be quite similar to the second language like English. So here is one of the major issues. So the best thing is we need to understand the features of English language. So let's learn what is the usage of learning or mastering nouns and pronouns. The first thing is the proper usage of nouns and pronouns is crucial for effective communication in English. So this presentation, we will address some common errors. That means repeatedly we make the mistakes, but until or unless the person who has the knowledge about the language, so generally these errors are accepted. So we will learn about them. So first we'll focus on nouns errors and how to avoid them, why we are making the mistake. And after finishing this noun errors, we'll shift into the pronoun errors. As we all know that noun is equal to name, but it is more, but noun is a name. The first thing is here, the subject and verb agreement. This is word agreement. So in technical terminology, subject and verb agreement is called subject-verb concord. So subject and verb agreement ensures that the subject, that is a noun, and the verb in a sentence are properly matched in terms of singular or plural form. If the subject is singular and the verb should add, okay, yes, if it is a simple present tense. For example, she likes. Okay, here that's a pronoun, but Raju likes. Right. So subject and agreement is very important. Here, the incorrect sentence is example. The team are playing well. Should be corrected to the team is playing well. Where the singular subject team agrees with the singular verb. Next example is about countable and uncountable nouns. We all know that nouns have been divided into different categories. One of the categories is countable and uncountable nouns. So some nouns are countable while others are uncountable. For example, advice is an uncountable noun. So it should be used without the plural suffix yes or sa in phrases like I need some advice. Rather, the incorrect sentence here, I need some advices. Generally, advices is quite acceptable in our mother tongue. So you can check it out in your mother tongue. My mother tongue is Telugu. We tend to use advices in plural suffixes. So it is quite okay. But when we check why we are committing the mistake, the reason is we are translating from Telugu to English or our mother tongue to English. So the best thing is try to avoid translating from one language to another language. Next one is pluralization. This is quite a common mistake which has been done by the learners or beginners and proficients also. The reason is uh, probably it might be confused with a possessive marker like apostrophe s, and there is a hospital nearby, children hospital, okay, a Rainbow Children's Hospital. Probably there, okay, people misunderstood that children apostrophe s is there, they forget that punctuation mark, apostrophe s. So we'll learn about the punctuation in other videos, but so pluralization involves correctly forming the plural form of nouns. The incorrect example here is the children are playing. Here, if you observe this, sa, the singular form of this noun is child. The plural form is children. No need to add the suffix, plural suffix yes or sa to this one. So the correct sentence is the children are playing, where children is the plural form of child. Next one is possessive form. So possessive form means ownership. It indicates the ownership. So someone possesses something. Okay. So here in the incorrect example is this is Sarah, her book. Generally, this kind of mistake may not be committed. Here, this is Sarah's book. This is the right sentence. So in the correct possessive form is this is Sarah's book. Using an apostrophe sa to show the book belongs to Sarah. This is John's book. If there is two S, already S is there, Keats, Keats. The author name itself is, okay, he himself is called Keats. S is there already. So how to do that one? So Keats' book. So can we keep it apostrophe yes or okay, or only S? Generally, Keats' book, it is difficult to pronounce it. So we can say that Keats' book. No need of adding S. Next one is collective nouns. So one of the nouns, when we divide it into nouns in different categories, now collective nouns is one of the parameters here. So collective nouns refers to groups. When we say the word collect, it is quite visible to the groups. In the incorrect example, the committee is divided in their opinions. Here, the correct version is the committee is divided in its opinions. As the pronoun, it should agree with the committee. So here, there is the plural pronoun. So it is out. The sentence is out. So collective nouns should match with this one, okay, the antecedent. Next one is the incorrect. Okay, now we'll shift to the nouns to pronouns. Pronoun is a word which is used instead of nouns. Why we are using pronouns? Pronouns are used instead of to avoid the repetition. The basic purpose of usage of the pronoun is the minimalistic approach. So we need to avoid the redundancy, or we need to avoid the repetition, so that pronouns can help us. If there is a sentence or a paragraph always repeated with a lot of proper nouns like Rama, 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 so it is very difficult to read and listen also. So in order to avoid the repetition of nouns, we are using pronouns. So incorrect pronoun reference, this is the first thing. Here, so pronouns must clearly refer to their antecedent. So you know that antecedents, the pronoun they replace. So here the antecedent, in the incorrect example, John and Michael went to the park. He played football. Here we have two independent sentences, separate sentences. But this is incorrect. The corrected version is John and Michael went to the park. Okay, John and Michael went to the park. These both are considered as a plural, so the antecedent, so they is the right pronoun. Ambiguous. So confusion. It gives more than one antecedent. If you are using too many nouns and trying to connect with one pronoun, it would be quite difficult to connect which noun we are referring to. So ambiguous pronoun references can cause confusion. The incorrect example, Sheila told Lisa that Mary was upset because she failed the exam. Should be corrected to Sheila told Lisa that Mary was upset because Mary failed the exam. So here the pronoun she, whether it refers to Mary or Lisa or Sheila. So here it would be a quite confused sentence. So in order to avoid the ambiguity, it is better to replace with pronoun with a noun, that is called Mary. So again, we'll go through the sentence again meticulously. We can find three proper nouns here: Sheila, one, Lisa, Mary. So the pronoun she antecedent with whether it is referring to the first one or second or third Mary. It is quite ambiguous. So in order to avoid this ambiguity, we are replacing the pronoun with a noun, that is called Mary. This is the first thing. When we have too many pronouns, proper nouns, the best way we can replace is we need to add the proper noun in order instead of pronoun. Next one is mismatched pronoun case. Case is an interesting concept here. Subject to case, object to case, possessive case. These are all linguistic components of a sentence. So here, pronoun must match their roles as subjects or object. The incorrect example here is him and I went shopping. Generally, I don't find this kind of sentence. Instead of saying that, he and me went shopping. For example, here, he and me went shopping. Okay. So I observe my students are making this kind of error. So whether we have to use the subjective case or objective case. Subjective case pronouns are he, she, they, and objective case pronouns are him, her, like that. And if there is I, the objective case is me. For example, imagine if whether this sentence is right or wrong. Grammatical judgment task, you can do it for yourself. For example, forget about he and. Okay. Now try to read this sentence. Me went shopping. This sentence is not sensible. The reason is objective case cannot be the subject of the verb. Right? Confused? Again, I'll repeat it. Objective case, that means me, cannot be the subject of the verb. So, if you want to use the objective case, you have to use in the predicative phrase, that is called after went. But in the subjective place, you cannot use it, me, as a subject. So, here mismatched pronoun case is one of them. Now, if you want to correct this sentence, so the best thing is he and I went shopping. Next one is subject pronoun and object pronoun, as we just discussed that. Subject pronouns are, once again I'm going to repeat it, I, he, she, they. These are called subjective pronouns. And objective pronouns are, example, like I is the subjective pronoun and me is the objective pronoun. He, yes, him, correct. She, her. So have specific rules. So they have a specific roles of the case. If the subjective pronoun is there, we have to use the subject place, okay, of the verb. I went to shopping, right? So I went to movies. I went to the movie. You cannot say me went to the movie. This is one thing. So here the incorrect sentence is me and Sarah went to the movies. The best thing is Sarah and I went to the movies. Here you may get a doubt. Sir, you have not only changed the objective into subjective pronoun. This is called subjective pronoun. Subjective pronoun. And you are changing the place. You are affixing the place. Why? The reason is very simple. Some textbooks, grammar textbooks, explains this concept like if there is something proper or good reason, you can keep your name next, second. For example, Sarah and I went to the movies. For example, if it is something negative connotation or like negative context, I and Sarah were punished. Okay. I and Sarah made that mistake. Here you are keeping you as the first person because it is a negative context. If it is a positive context, better to use right your friend or the second person name first. So in this context, going to movies or watching movies is not a crime or it's not a negative context. So we can say that Sarah and I went to the movies. There are two concepts we can remember here. One is objective case, we have changed into subjective case. And the next one is we change the sentence construction. That means the order of the subjects have been changed. If it is a positive context, you can use the second person name first, second pronoun also first. For example, he and I, if it is a positive. If it is negative, I and he. I hope you could understand it, right? So next one is, so after finishing this one, we understand that nouns and pronouns errors. The main nouns and pronouns errors we are committing. The first reason is we are translating from our mother tongue to English. The reason is English features, language features maybe are partially different from our mother tongue. In our mother tongue, some nouns are plural, whereas in English, these nouns or pronouns are singular or other way around. So we have to keep understanding the features of English because we are speaking the second language English, so we need to tend to follow the rules of English, right? So one more thing is, many times when you correct yourself English sentences, right, again and again we are making the mistakes. The reason is we are habitual. Or in mind faculty, that means first language acquisition, okay, these are very strong. This is called fossilization of errors. Fossilization of errors, you know the fossilization, right? So even you are trying to correct your mistakes, unknowingly you are repeating the same mistake again and again. So how to avoid these kind of mistakes? You have to be a bit conscious while speaking these kind of sentences in a context. Better keep your pace moderate. Don't speak very fast. This is the first thing. So, in order to avoid these minimal errors in nouns and pronouns, if you are not making any of these errors, congratulations. But if you are making these mistakes, again you are congratulated. The reason is you understood what the mistakes are, okay, you are committing. Now, try to avoid them by speaking, okay, moderate pace. If someone is correcting your mistakes, try to understand that and take it in a positive connotation. So, tips for correct usage. So, ensure that pronouns clearly refer to the nouns they refer or replace, avoiding confusion or ambiguity in your sentences. This is very important. The first thing is antecedent clarity. Ensure pronoun clearly refers to their respective nouns or not. If there are many nouns, try to use the noun directly rather than the pronoun, as we have already gone through that one incorrect sentence and correct sentences. When we have three subjective cases like pronouns Sheila, Lisa and Mary, right? Instead of she, we replace that word she pronoun she with Mary, like those kind of errors. And consistent pronoun usage. Use the same consistent pronoun consistently throughout a same sentence or a paragraph. This is one of the challenges. Okay, or sometimes pronouns have been used different genders. So try not to change the pronouns frequently. Use a consistent pronoun which refers the antecedent of the noun. That is very important here. And general neutral pronouns are, this concept is quite popular now. They and them. And even nouns also, chairwoman, chairman. So now in a safe side, you can use that chairperson. Chairperson is the common or neutral pronoun or neutral concept rather than chairman or chairwomen. So this is the best practice. Be aware of collective nouns. Consider whether to use singular or plural pronouns for collective nouns. Choose between singular or plural pronouns based on the context of collective nouns to ensure grammatical accuracy. Next, self-edit and proofread. This is the most neglected area we are doing it. So after we have written, after we recorded something, we generally do not go through the proofreading. So critical and careful or meticulous review, okay, from your side and proofread from your side and by your friends or your teachers or your association is very much needed. It will help you a lot. So don't blindly accept what you have written or what you have spoken. So try to introspect ourselves, what we are speaking about, what we are writing it. So carefully review your writing to catch and correct noun and pronouns are mandatory. So now the conclusion part. Proper use of nouns and pronouns enhances clarity, that means avoid ambiguity, and professionalism in your communication. Like children's, avoid children. Okay, use the word children instead of children's. Next one is, by avoiding common errors, you will create more effective and precise writing. What is meant by precise one? Accuracy. So not to create many meanings in one sentence. Your reader, if you are writing, if you are an author, your listener, if you are a speaker, should not get confused with your language. We need to respect the time of the reader and the listener. So this presentation may help you to improve your communication skills, especially in the area of writing and speaking in the usage of nouns and pronouns. Thank you so much. I hope you can enjoy this video. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.